Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Dee. I am a Saint beauty artist and a lover of all things beauty. And here on my channel, I talk about a variety of different things. Obviously, everything related, not obviously, but everything related to beauty, fashion, skincare, nails, lifestyle, mid-size fashion. We kind of talk about it all here. And yeah, just pretty much anything and everything that I think might be helpful for you guys or stuff that I tried that I want to do a review on. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of any new videos. And if you want to see any content, just let me know and I can add it into my regimen. So today is going to be about light natural coverage. So I feel like in the summertime, people wear less makeup overall. Usually we're bronzing, we're spending time on the beach or the lake or being outside. Unless you're like me living in Texas, where I think on Wednesday it's supposed to be 108. I don't want to wear a full face of makeup. I pretty much am probably not going to be outside this next week when it's 105 to 108. That's ridiculous. I don't like it. Why do I even live here? But I want to do this makeup tutorial for you guys so you can see that you can still get full coverage without wearing layers and layers and layers of makeup. So I will be using my Seint All-in-One Compact. So if you don't know what this is, it is a cream foundation. It is an all-in-one compact system where literally everything that I need for my full face is right here. These are magnetic, like the magnetic tins, and then they are in these little tins that hold in. You can see they are super, super travel friendly. This is one of our more expensive palettes because it is plastic. But we also have different shapes, different sizes, different colors, depending on what you're looking for. I'm obviously extra. I'm doing a full face of makeup almost every single day, but maybe you're just wanting a very, very simple, minimalistic look, then you might want to do a smaller compact. So we've got a compact for everybody's budget and style and all that stuff. So today I'm gonna go through just kind of taking you guys through how I utilize my makeup, what are the steps, and to get a light natural coverage. So the first thing I do, I've done all my skincare. I will link it down below. Oh, before I get into that, my neck is splotchy here. You can see the redness. A week ago, got a Morpheus 8 treatment. So my neck, for whatever reason, takes it really, really hard. She always bumps up the level. So it's basically like my neck is still recovering from jamming needles and radio frequency in it. So my face is pretty much 100%. I still have some dryness, but that is what that is right there. It usually doesn't look like that. Stash. So after I do that, I do go in and I color correct my under eyes. I do have, as you can see, pretty decent under eye circles right in here. I mean, there's literally nothing that I can do with it. I have found that collagen has really, really helped with that area, but it could be allergies, it's hereditary. I sleep pretty well, so it's not sleep, but it's definitely at allergies and hereditary. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go in, and these are the two colors that I'll use. I'll put them up on my screen because I can never remember what they are, but these are our demi colors. These are gonna be more pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. So I'm gonna take this peach color first, or this peachy orange color, and I'm gonna tone it in on the darkest areas. Then I'm gonna take this pinky color, and this is a color that I use to brighten. I feel like it really does a good job of brightening my under eye area and just making that area pop. Now, one of the things, I'm taking the shape tape, oh my goodness, that's tart. But I'm taking the shape brush and I'm just literally little bit dabbing it. I'm not going in crazy. I'm not doing anything like packing a whole bunch of color. I want it to be a very, very light wash of color. Now, what you can do if you have more time than I do this morning is you can take a kind of a detail brush like this, and you can actually pinpoint on those areas that are still peeking through. And the whole purpose of this is really less is more. You just want to use a little bit. You don't want to go in with the heavy hand because this stuff is very, very creamy. So you're just going to do that little bit of wash of color. Now what I'm gonna go in is I'm gonna take my sponge. This is the Real Technique sponge. This is my absolute favorite. I talk about all the time, and I'm just gonna buff that out. And you can see it's just a little bit of brightening. Now, I can go in and do more, but to me, it's okay because once I start laying on my products, I'll pretty much cover that area. I'm gonna do one side because I like you guys to see what the difference is. So then I'm gonna go in with that pinky color, and I am just focusing it on really that inner corner and then up through here. You can see it's subtle, but it does make a difference. Because again, I'm doing light, natural coverage. I don't want anything to be too thick. The other thing that I do is I go in with this color right here, June, but this is how I do it. I take the other end of the shape brush and I am just going to lightly sweep it across. There's other colors from Seint that you can use. A lot of people use the color Aspen. I find that for whatever reason, it's very muddy on my skin. So I personally go in with June, but 9 times out of 10, when somebody wants a little bit more coverage or a little bit of redness coverage, I always recommend Aspen because it does work with pretty much everybody's skin. I just have like really weird coloring in my skin. So I'm just gonna go in, and the one thing that I love about this brush is it picks up a very, very little amount. So I'm not going in and packing the color, I'm literally just swiping it on. And you can see here, I said I was gonna do half my face and I didn't do that. So we're just gonna go in and just do it because I actually don't have time this morning because I'm running late. I always do these videos when I'm like running, I have a time crunch and I'm like, this is not working. So, but you can see here, there is a difference. There's a difference with the eyes and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye and that way I can even out and finish this video. Okay. You can see here, it's all coming together. So after I do that sweep of the color correcting, I'm always gonna go in and I'm going to take my Real Techniques sponge and I'm just gonna bounce it on my skin. Now, a lot of people do it slightly damp. You want it to be very, very slight. I do it with a dry one. I don't know why. I feel like because my skin is so dry, if I do have any dampness on the sponge, it ends up moving the foundation around, the cream foundation around, and it doesn't actually like push it on my skin. And I feel like with the dry one, it does a better job of actually pushing in my skin. The other thing that it's going to do is going to help blend out any brush marks that you have, and it's going to help pick up extra product. So you don't get any of that cakiness or anything like that. It's going to help pick it up and you just have that light sweep of coverage. So next I'm ready to go in with my main highlight shade. And so this is what we would call like our foundation shade. This is the main coverage area that I'm gonna use on my eyes, and this is Candlelit. So this is the color that I'm currently, and then I'm gonna take a 3D foundation brush and I'm just gonna pat it. Another thing I like about this brush, I'm not digging into it. I'm literally just patting it into the product and then I'm patting it onto my skin. And the one thing that I always tell my new customers when they order from me is when you go in and you start applying this makeup, you want to do this stippling motion here. This cream product is not going to apply like regular foundation, so you can't go in and start applying it or, you know, using the same techniques that you did before as if it is cream or liquid foundation, because it's not going to work and you're going to get really, really frustrated. So I go in and I'm just literally tapping it onto my skin, I'm pushing it onto my skin and just kind of moving it around where I want that coverage. And I'm not putting a lot of product on my face. Like, this is not a lot. I am just literally moving it on, moving it out, buffing it out, pushing into my skin, but I'm not putting layers upon layers upon layers. And that's what I love about it. So then again, I'm gonna take my Real Techniques sponge and then I'm going to even it out and make sure that there's no harsh lines and that it picks up the rest of or any excess product. Okay, so the other thing that I like to do, again, to get that natural look, is I'm actually gonna dip my Real Techniques sponge into my palette, and then I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques sponge onto my eyes to give it a little bit more coverage. I'm gonna do it to my nose because my nose always needs a little bit more coverage. And I just feel like this helps, oh, I got an eyelash. This helps to get into all the little crevices and cracks into my nose because my nose generally gets really, really red. If I take a brush, I feel like it just doesn't do a good job of getting that product in. So I like to go in like with this area right here around my eyebrows. I like to go in with my Real Techniques sponge and just kind of put a little product on there and then help move that into that space. And I feel like it just does a better job of evening it out, making it look more natural, but then also color correcting and making sure there's no redness peeking through. The next thing that I do, because I haven't been contouring, I've been bronzing more because again, less is more and doing more of that natural coverage. Okay, so this is a color Cedar. This is actually a contour color, but I've been using it as a bronzer and I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna take my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm just going to put it in there, and then I'm just going to stipple it kind of on the tops of my forehead. And the purpose of bronzer is really just to warm up my skin. I'm adding that depth and that dimension back. I'm adding that warmness back into my skin because now I pretty much made it all the same color. So I want to add dimension and warmth back. And so I'm just going to put it at the top of my cheeks. I'm going to put it on my forehead, and then I'm going to bring it down here. And I'm just going to warm up my neck. Now the problem that I have is my face is actually darker than my neck and my chest. So I always like to bring my bronzer down so that it makes it even. And then I can take the bigger portion of it and then I can do bigger areas. And I just sit here and I just make sure, now granted, I just fired up my neck. I have very, very sensitive skin. So it looks red and angry, but it will all tone down. But I just want to make sure that that bronzer look is all in there. And you can see it's very subtle. It's not going to be as drastic as Bella. If you're currently using Bella, it's not going to be as drastic. It's going to be a little bit subtle, but I absolutely love it. Then I'm going to go in with Baby Watermelon. This is a beautiful pinky shade. So if you're on the Barbie, you know, bandwagon or whatever, this is the perfect Barbie color, but I'm just going to, again, stipple it in. One thing that I love about cream foundation is if you go too heavy-handed, you can always tone it down. And you do that by doing a sponge. So if I got too crazy with my blush, I can just go in there and I can tone it down, and that's it. So it is dummy proof. If you have been struggling with makeup and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to apply it, cream foundation, particularly Seint foundation, is so, so easy, because if you go in and you mess up, you can fix it. There's no mess ups. With powders and liquid foundations, if you go too dark, you can't fix it. With Seint, if you put on a color and you're like, whoa, gosh, it's too dark, you can add layers. You can do a sponge. You can kind of absorb the extra product, and then you can add different layers and stuff like that. Or not layers, but you can add different colors to help tone it down. There's ways that you can troubleshoot and fix it that you cannot do with liquid foundation and you cannot do with powder. So that's why I absolutely love it. So this is the kind of the very, very natural, light natural coverage. I didn't put a lot of stuff on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and I'll come back so you guys can see the finished result, because I feel like without doing my eyebrows and my eyes and all that stuff, it's kind of like wong wong, but I want the whole thing to be put together so you guys can see. Oh, before I do that, the last thing I do before I do my eyebrows, my eyes, or whatever, I go in and I set my foundation. So with cream foundation, it's never gonna set like a liquid foundation. It's not gonna dry down. So you do need to set it in one of two ways. You can either use a makeup setting spray like I'm gonna show you right now, or you can set it with a setting powder. So if you're oily, you wanna go to the setting powder route. If you are dry like me, then you wanna go the makeup setting spray route. So basically what I do is I take my Real Technique sponge, I'm gonna spray it, and then I'm just gonna dab it all over. And the reason why I like this is I can spray my whole face, but I've done my makeup or I've done my hair, and I don't want the setting spray to get in my hair. So this is a little cheap method or hack method, whatever you may call it, so that you can strategically place where you want that setting makeup spray, but you're not going to get in your hair, you're not gonna get it on your outfit, you're not gonna spray it all over. So I just do it like that, and then boom, I'm done. Now it is set, and I'm ready to go in with my eyebrows and my eyes. So I finished my eye look. I ended up filming a video or tutorial about how to do your eyeshadow, as I just dug my finger in, how to do your eyeshadow for mature lids. So if you are struggling with doing eyeshadow, your lids are mature, you're starting to get that crepiness, I'm starting to notice it 100%. So I've had to change my technique, and so that's what I was doing the video on. If you're struggling as well, then that's definitely a video that can help you out, so stay tuned for that. But this is the final look. This is everything put together, very light, natural coverage. You saw how much product I use. I did not use a lot. This has been my go-to everyday foundation routine, and I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, it's flawless, it's my skin but better, it's light and natural. So hopefully this video helped you. I will link everything down below that I used or that I talked about, so that should help you. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Until next time, bye.